Let's talk about this situation again, because it keeps finding its way back into the spotlight. I honestly try not to focus on one person for too long, but sometimes the actions themselves pull the attention right back. People often ask why these kinds of videos or conversations even happen in the first place. They say it feels like hate, judgment, or unnecessary negativity. From my point of view, it isn't about tearing someone down. It's more about noticing behavior that feels strange, confusing, or inconsistent, especially when it keeps showing up in public, and trying to make sense of it. When someone lives their life in front of an audience, every small move can turn into a talking point. A single comment, a short clip, or even a photo can spark days of discussion. That's simply how social media works. It takes something small and stretches it into a much larger conversation where everyone feels invited to share their opinion, whether they were asked to or not. Once something is out there, it no longer belongs only to the person who posted it. It becomes part of a shared space where interpretation takes over. There have been moments in the past where things she said didn't quite line up with what people felt they could clearly see. One example that caught a lot of attention was when she talked about her hair. She appeared on camera with long hair and told viewers it was her natural look. Many people believed it was actually a weave or extensions. For most viewers, the issue wasn't really about the hairstyle itself. It wasn't about judging how she looked or criticizing her appearance. It was more about why the explanation was given at all. Nobody was asking for proof. People were already complimenting her. The moment would have passed quietly if nothing had been said. Instead, that extra explanation made some viewers pause. It felt unnecessary to them, and because of that, it raised questions. Why explain something no one challenged? Why insist on a detail that didn't need defending? That small moment planted a seed for some people. It made them start paying closer attention to other things she shared online. Over time, more stories came up, and some viewers began to feel like a pattern was forming. They noticed that when mistakes or inconsistencies were pointed out, there was rarely a clear moment where she simply said, "Yes, I got that wrong." Instead, the response often felt like a joke, a deflection, or a way to flip the question back onto the person asking it. For some people, that approach comes across as playful or harmless. For others, it feels like avoiding responsibility. Everyone reads it differently, and that's part of what makes being in the public eye so complicated. The same action can look lighthearted to one person and questionable to another. Intent doesn't always translate clearly through a screen, especially when an audience already has mixed opinions. Once doubt enters the picture, even small moments get examined more closely than they otherwise would. One recent situation brought all of this back into the conversation again. She called into a boxing and sports podcast, pretending to be a fan. At first, it sounded like a regular supporter calling in to show love and encouragement. Nothing seemed unusual about it. But as the conversation continued, the caller became very emotional and defensive about comments the host had made. That reaction caught listeners off guard. The voice, the tone, and the way the caller responded felt deeply personal. To many listeners, it didn't sound like a random fan at all. It sounded like her. Some people laughed and thought the whole thing was funny. They saw it as playful, maybe even clever, like an inside joke. Others felt uncomfortable. They wondered why someone with real talent, success, and recognition would need to go that far just to defend herself or hear praise. For those listeners, the moment felt awkward. It took attention away from her hard work and skill, which they believed should have been the main focus. Instead of talking about achievements, the conversation shifted to speculation, clips, and reactions. A few weeks later, an interviewer asked her directly about the call. Instead of clearly saying yes or no, she responded in a way that sounded more like a question. She said something along the lines of, "And if I did?" That response left many people unsure how to interpret it. Some felt she was brushing it off. Others thought she was trying to keep things light and avoid turning it into a bigger issue. Either way, it didn't bring clarity, and without clarity, the conversation kept going. Moments like that show how quickly a small action can grow into a larger story. One phone call leads to online clips. Those clips lead to comment sections. The comments turn into debates, and before long, the discussion is everywhere. What started as something minor becomes something much bigger, fueled by speculation and differing perspectives. Then there's the ongoing talk about her relationship with Papoose. This part of the story also draws a lot of attention. Some viewers believe he's genuinely there to support her and stand by her side. They see him as a partner who shows up and stays present. Others believe he's only around because it benefits him in some way. These opinions go back and forth, and the truth is that no one outside their private world truly knows what's real. Still, people keep discussing it because parts of their connection play out in public. Relationships in the spotlight come with extra pressure. Every smile, every post, and every public appearance gets examined. Supporters look for signs of love, loyalty, and stability. Critics look for signs of tension, imbalance, or hidden motives. The truth often lies somewhere in the middle, but it can be hard to see when so many voices are speaking at once. What makes this entire situation interesting is how quickly small actions turn into big conversations. One comment about hair, one call to a podcast, or one social media post can lead to days of debate. Some people see these moments as entertainment. Others see them as signs of deeper issues, such as a desire for approval or difficulty handling criticism. At the heart of it all, everyone watching brings their own perspective. Some people will defend her no matter what. They see her as strong, talented, and misunderstood. Others will question every move, looking for patterns or hidden meaning. And some will simply watch from a distance, not taking sides, treating it like a story unfolding in real time. Now, it's worth talking more about the role Papoose plays, because that part often becomes a conversation of its own. Many people notice how often he appears at events meant to focus on her. Whether it's through speeches, performances, or simply being present, some viewers feel like the spotlight occasionally shifts away from her moment and onto him. For fans who want to see her shine independently, that can be frustrating. They want the focus to stay on her achievements, her wins, and her hard work. They worry that discussions about her talent get overshadowed by talk about her personal life and the people around her. At the same time, others see his presence as a sign of support. They believe he's there to uplift her and stand by her side. To them, it represents loyalty and partnership, not interference. Once again, it comes down to perspective. When people talk about her, it isn't always coming from a place of dislike. Many actually wanted to cheer her on and see her succeed. She has real skill, and she's achieved things that deserve respect. The frustration for some viewers is that certain actions keep creating distractions that pull attention away from those accomplishments. The hair situation became a perfect example of this. It wasn't about length, texture, or style. It was about why it became a topic at all. People were already offering praise. There was no pressure to explain anything. But when she said it was all natural, despite older videos showing a very different look, it made some people question why she felt the need to say that in the first place. For some, that moment became symbolic of a larger issue. If someone stretches the truth about something small, it can make others wonder what else might not be fully honest. That doesn't mean everything she says is untrue. It simply means people start paying closer attention. Social media amplifies all of this. One post leads to another clip. One comment turns into a long thread. Before long, a simple detail becomes a full discussion filled with hundreds or even thousands of opinions. Some people enjoy that kind of analysis. They like dissecting every move and trying to understand what it all means. Others find it exhausting and wish the focus would return to the sport, the music, or the work that made these people famous in the first place. And that's where the conversation keeps looping. Talent and achievement on one side, distractions and public perception on the other. As long as everything plays out in front of an audience, those two things will continue to collide.
Thank you. I just have one follow-up question. It's a hot topic. We got to know. Claressa, was that you on the call on that show? People are saying you called into a show and it sounded like you. What are your thoughts on that?
If I did, so
Next
what?
question. Exactly. Which is a good answer.
Isaiah?
You on these lives? Yeah, you on these lives talking about Claressa Shields?
Yeah. Mute your TV for me. Go ahead. I saw I missed your call.
Yeah, it's muted.
Okay, go ahead.
So, I'm sitting up here listening to this live, and I see so much misinformation.
Okay, well, go ahead. Go ahead. Hold on. Hold up. Go ahead. I want to hear you. I want to hear you.
Lying, saying that this woman owes tax money. Why are y'all lying, saying that her image is ruined?
Well, hold on. Correct that then, because there's a lady who put out some tax records today on her site, and we were all like, where'd that come from? Like Claressa Shields owes money based on the document she provided. So clear that up for us, because I'm glad.
Y'all believe anything bad about Claressa Shields. Nobody's doing any fact checks. You guys are running behind Tasha K and Lakeisha Dean believing anything bad said about Claressa Shields when her life has been documented since she was 15 years old.
Well, hold on a second. Hold on a second. I'm going to let you talk because I'm not rude. And I'm not saying you're being rude. Now, I don't watch Tasha K. I don't even know who the other person is. But the ladies in the chat, they definitely know who they are. So just to let you know. But go ahead. I want to hear from you because I'm glad somebody who has a differing opinion is calling in. But so you saying the tax stuff isn't true?
It's not about a different opinion. It's about facts. You guys aren't putting out any facts. You guys are lying. You're lying on her name 24/7.
Okay.
24/7.
Give the facts.
She doesn't owe any money in taxes.
So the person who came out, the person who did that video and has that document floating around, that's a false document.
Very, very false. I know Claressa myself. So therefore, no, it's not true. Secondly, you are talking about that her image is destroyed. How are you guys on this live? The girl you had just before saying that, she only made $8 million. Like, $8 million is not a lot of money. And she has the most lucrative boxing deal in women's boxing. When do we start doing this stuff?
Okay, keep going. So you don't think her image has been destroyed because of the deal?
It's not about she has not done anything for her image to be destroyed. She is a female boxer. What else is she supposed to do?
But what does that mean?
I would love to hear this.
No.
She is a female boxer.
Okay.
She is the best in the world at what she does. She's undefeated. She's never been in jail. She doesn't have anything on her record that's bad. How are you guys painting this girl out to be a bad person and be a bad woman? Please explain.
Another important part of this conversation is how people handle criticism. Being in the public means not everyone will like you, and not everyone will agree with you. Some comments will be unfair, and some will be unnecessarily harsh. The way a person responds to that criticism often shapes how they are perceived. When someone laughs things off, some viewers interpret that as confidence. When someone avoids answering directly, others see it as avoidance. There is no single correct way to handle criticism, but every response sends a message, whether it is intentional or not. Now let's shift back to the podcast moment, because it keeps coming up for a reason. Calling in while pretending to be a fan surprised a lot of people. For those who found it funny, it felt playful, like a light-hearted way to join the conversation. For those who found it uncomfortable, it felt like crossing a line. They questioned why someone would feel the need to hide their identity instead of calling in as themselves. To them, it would have been more honest, and even more powerful, to speak openly rather than pretend to be someone else. That moment also sparked a broader discussion about attention and validation. Even when someone is successful, respected, and accomplished, the desire for approval doesn't automatically disappear. In fact, fame can sometimes make that desire stronger. Being praised publicly can create pressure to protect one's image, defend one's reputation, or control how others see you. When that pressure shows up in unexpected ways, people notice. Then there's the issue of trust. Once people feel that a small detail doesn't quite add up, they begin to look at everything else more closely. That doesn't necessarily mean they are right to do so, but it is a natural reaction. Trust, once shaken, takes time to rebuild. This is where the conversation usually splits into two sides. One side believes people are being too harsh and reading too much into minor moments. The other side believes those small moments reveal something deeper about how a person presents themselves. Both sides feel justified, and both believe they are seeing the truth. In reality, the situation is usually more complicated than either side wants to admit. This complexity becomes even more noticeable when the discussion turns to her connection with Remy's husband, Papoose. That part of the story added another layer of curiosity and debate. Some people believe she tried to make it seem like he reached out to her first. Others think the situation unfolded the opposite way. There are also questions about where he spent time during certain holidays and who he was actually with. Once again, no one outside of their personal lives truly knows the full story. Still, because pieces of the situation appear online, people feel invited to speculate. At this point, many viewers say their trust is already shaky. When one detail feels off, every new statement gets examined closely. Social media makes it easy to replay clips, compare interviews, and point out inconsistencies. For some, this feels like accountability. For others, it feels like piling on and refusing to let anything go. One thing that stands out in all of this is how quickly public opinion can shift. A person can go from being praised to being questioned in a matter of days. One viral clip can completely change how someone is viewed. This highlights both the power and the danger of online attention. It can lift people up quickly, but it can also place them under a microscope where every move is analyzed and judged. Another angle people often discuss is how all of this affects her focus and career. Being surrounded by constant commentary can be emotionally draining. It can pull energy away from training, performing, or creating. Even strong, confident people can feel the weight of non-stop attention. Some viewers worry that the noise surrounding her personal life will overshadow her professional achievements. They want her to be recognized for her work, not just the drama connected to her name. Others believe she brings some of this attention on herself through the choices she makes and the way she responds online. They argue that keeping certain things private would leave less room for speculation. Once again, it comes down to boundaries. Some public figures protect their personal lives closely. Others allow the public to see almost everything. Both approaches come with challenges, and neither guarantees peace. Finally, let's return to the hair conversation one more time, because it perfectly illustrates how small details can grow into big stories. Hair is deeply personal for many people. It's tied to identity, confidence, and self-expression. When someone talks about their hair, people listen. When what they say doesn't seem to match what others remember seeing, questions naturally arise. It's not always about judgment. Sometimes it's simply about consistency. In the end, this entire situation shows how quickly perception can shift when life is lived in public. Small moments don't stay small for long, and once attention is focused, every detail matters.
Somebody said nice wig. You mean nice hair? My wigs be straight. It's actually my natural hair. That's why I have my edges covered up, because I ran them out this morning. But you guys aren't used to me wearing my hair out, and I don't really like wearing it out that much either. I like it braided.
What seems different from what others remember or expect quickly becomes a point of interest. That isn't necessarily fair or unfair. It's simply how attention works. Some people believe the focus on her hair is silly and unnecessary, arguing that it distracts from more important topics. Others see it as a symbol of a larger issue involving honesty, image, and how someone presents themselves to the public. This difference in perspective is exactly what keeps the debate alive. As long as people interpret the same moment in different ways, the conversation will continue. Social media thrives on this dynamic. Platforms are built for sharing opinions, reacting to content, and joining discussions. The more people engage, the faster a topic spreads and the harder it is to move past it. At the center of all of this is one simple idea. People want to believe what they are seeing. They want to feel confident that the stories they hear and the images they consume are real. When something feels off, even in a small way, it creates doubt. That doesn't mean someone is dishonest about everything. It simply means people start paying closer attention. Stepping back, the bigger picture is about perception, trust, and how easily both can shift in the public eye.
You mean nice hair? My wigs be straight. It's actually my natural hair. That's why I have my edges covered up, because I ran them out this morning. But you guys aren't used to me wearing my hair out, and I don't really like wearing it out that much either. I like it braided. You mean nice hair?
Claressa Shields is a talented athlete with real, measurable achievements. Papoose is a musician with a long history in the industry. Remy Ma is a well-known artist with a powerful presence of her own. Each of them has their own story, their own supporters, and their own critics. When their paths cross in public, attention naturally multiplies. Some people view this situation purely as entertainment. They follow along the way they would a series or a show. watching each development unfold in real time. Others see something more meaningful in it. To them, it becomes a lesson about fame, relationships, and how living in the public eye can complicate moments that would otherwise remain private. There is also the element of growth to consider. People evolve. The way someone handles attention today may look very different from how they handle it tomorrow. Mistakes, especially public ones, can turn into learning moments. Even when those moments play out in front of an audience, growth is still possible. For those watching, it helps to remember that behind every post, every clip, and every comment is a real person with real emotions. It's easy to forget that when everything exists on a screen, that doesn't mean public actions should never be discussed or questioned. It simply means those conversations are better when they include some level of understanding and empathy, which brings the focus back to you, the viewer or the reader. How do you see this situation? Do you believe these moments are being blown out of proportion? Or do you feel they reveal something deeper about how she presents herself? Do you see the podcast call as a harmless joke, or as something that crossed a line? Do you view the hair conversation as a simple misunderstanding, or as part of a larger pattern? There is no single right answer. Everyone brings their own experiences, values, and expectations into how they interpret what they see. Some people prioritize transparency above all else.